through 2023, shout outs to you, because this year was absolutely ridiculous. Okay, this year it was given very much scandalous. This year was given very much pressure makes diamonds. This year was given very much the world is not a real place. Okay, so many interesting and crazy and ridiculous things took place this year, but symbolically there was all a reason for that, you know. The year 2023 carries the vibration of the number 7. So if you're not familiar with numerology, what 7 represents is things about intuition and insight. So it's a very spiritual number. It's a number about truth, lies, deception, introspection. It's a number of intelligence, higher consciousness, and wisdom. Now, 7 is ruled by the planet Neptune, which is also Pisces energy. So things that have to deal with Neptune, number 7, and Pisces. This includes things of spirituality in the spirit realm, magic, sorcery. It includes things like psychology and the subconscious mind, your imagination, enlightenment, addiction, drugs, sex, alcohol, anything that represents fantasy or escapism. It represents illusions, media, and the music industry. So we've seen a lot of things transpire with these types of themes in 2023. Going back to truth being something that's symbolic of the number 7, it's no wonder why we've seen so many things being exposed in the media this year. For instance, like when we seen the whole Diddy and Cassie thing, which, to be honest, I was very happy. I was so glad that a spotlight was finally shown on his true intentions, because his energy is real heavy. If you are somebody that can read energy, I never too cared for him. Something about the eyes, like his eyes tells a story. So when I seen that break, I didn't second guess it. I just believed her automatically without even needing to see the details, because his spirit, I'm not going to say too much, but yeah. And the thing about those scales is that they always need to be balanced. So it's this basically karma that's coming back around, because 7 is also a very karmic year as well. So we've seen stuff like that playing out, and even outside of the media, just amongst regular people, a lot was exposed this year. You know, we had to really take the rose-tinted glasses off and see people's intentions and see people for who they really are, and not what we want them to be or who they have the potential to be, you know. So a lot of friendship dynamics were rocky or ended this year because, you know, people were fake and were exposed behind whatever they were doing. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to your family members, you know, you have to really see people for who they are. A lot of people showed their ass this year, and this is not the time to like ignore it. You really have to be like, all right, wow, I have to face the music. Like, this person is not really for me the way I thought they was, you know. But you know, whatever, it is what it is. When it comes to the realm of music and media, a lot was happening this year. We had the 50 years of hip hop, which was really dope. There was so many different things to do in relation to the culture. If you went to the Book of Hov, that was pretty dope. I was really inspired by the whole exhibit they had for him. I took my daughter, she absolutely loved it. There was the Hip Hop Till Infinity exhibit. That one was really cool too. There was so many different concerts. I'm sad that I missed the one with Nas. I really wanted to go to that one, but you know, it is what it is. I went to 50's concert though. 50 concert was really good. The only thing I would have, you know, wish was different is that he had G-Unit, because like, what's a 50 concert without G-Unit? You know, they had the hits, but whatever. It was still good nonetheless. This year was also calling for everyone to bring more divine energy into their creative projects and anything artistic that they wanted to do. So it's more so about finding the things that feel good within your spirit, doing things that your soul feels called to, and not just, you know, putting things out there just because you're looking to make money, or not just doing things because it's on trend, or not just doing things because society says this is what you're supposed to do. You know, this was the year to really like take a leap of faith and bring more divine essence into whatever it is that you are trying to give birth to. And I think someone that did a good, that exemplified this was Andre 3000 when he dropped his new Blue Sun album this year. There was a lot of mixed, thoughts and feelings about it, because everybody loves Andre for his lyricism. Like he got bars, and he's just a really good rapper. But he didn't give us not one word on any of these songs. It was just all frequency. And you really had to be open and open-minded to really enjoy and consume this album. And I guess he figured, we be listening to a lot of bullshit. Y'all could use a cleanse. So that's exactly what it was. Something to, align our chakras and whatnot and get us to meditating and, just being centered. And I thought it was cool because, he mentioned, I'm not about to sit here and figure out something to rap about. You don't want to hear me rap about getting a colonic, and that just, rapping at this particular moment in his life doesn't feel true to him. So that's not what he did. He didn't give you a rap album this time. And I thought that was very honorable to just really stand for what you believe in and what you feel right within your spirit. And I feel like more people need to take an example out of that and just, be daring to try something that's different and go against the grain and go against what's, expected in society. Disillusionment around vanity and cosmetics was also a theme this year. We've seen it with a number of influencers and celebrities. For an example, we've seen it with Kim Kardashian, who has a new look now. She's no longer with the big BBL shape. She's more in her slim, natural looking body. Comment. We've seen it with Black China, and she actually went through a whole spiritual transformation, and she documented that journey for other people to see because she really just wanted to move in a new direction that feels more spiritually uplifting for her. So she dissolved the fillers in her face. She's seeking God more, which is very on brand for this year. We've seen it with Lotto, who she actually did a podcast where she mentioned, although she got surgery, she doesn't really want to advise other women to get it.
For a girl who have little tweaks, yeah, I be on your case about not touching nothing.
Which I think people wouldn't think. I think people think just because somebody has surgery, they just encourage everybody else to get it. You need to get this. You don't do that. You be telling me, don't touch your body. Don't touch your face.
I'm telling you, to all the young girls listening, all the women listening right now, I'm telling you from someone who's been there, done that. Find peace within your natural state.
Yeah, I definitely
because you're going to find a flaw and another
Always.
flaw and another flaw and another flaw. Surgery, any of that stuff is not a permanent fix.
And I think a lot of people think that it is. They're like, oh, if I just get this, I'll be perfect. But it's I know from seeing everybody, that's not the case.
Baby, we still editing pictures.
Right.
We still having debacles in the mirror.
But how do you feel about people speaking on women with surgery? Making them feel like they can't speak about their bodies. Oh, I look good. And it's if you say that, they're like, well, girl, you got a BBL, or girl, you got a da-da-da.
I don't like that either, though. I don't like that either. I'm a very much advocate for women in general. Right. Surgery, natural, whatever.
For sure.
However you want to play it, just make sure that's what you comfortable with. But I just think surgery is so popular now.
Yeah.
And I'd be lying if I said that me doing music didn't have an influence on me. I'm constantly in the limelight, and I was so young.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to think I got my first.
Now, me personally, I'm not here to say yay or nay when it comes to cosmetic work. However, I do understand how the excess of it, how the strong desire, how it's become a need. I understand that it was all, programmed when you really think about it. When we think back to when Instagram first came out, I can't remember what year. Was that 2009? I can't remember. But Instagram filters, it started off with just, changing the lighting in the background. So it'll turn the picture black and white or sepia, or it'll make the picture a little bit brighter, the lighting in the picture brighter, or give it an HDR effect. Then over time, once Snapchat came about, that was another app that introduced the filters, but you know, it was like the dog filter that everybody loves so much. And then as time progressed, you know, it was filters that was adding makeup to your face. And then as time progressed, it was filters that was literally altering your face. So it made your face slimmer, your jaw, you know, was different. It made your nose slimmer, your lips plumper, is, you know, pushing up your eyes and that type of thing. And you know, people wasn't thinking of nothing of it because it was just something fun and silly to do. But that's literally conditioning. It's really programming, because now this is like subconscious things now. So now we feel like we need to look a certain way all the time, or we need to like get the, you know, maybe my face actually does look good like this. Like maybe I do need a slimmer nose. Like maybe I do want to get like plump lips, you know? So when we seen it in excess, and then once we, you know, with the whole influencer thing now, because the influencers, now what we have is a society that, you know, has this desire to get things done, but excessively. Like everybody wants to do it. Like this is something in abundance, you know, where this was once something that was mainly for people who were like video vixens or just like in the entertainment industry. This is just like your regular around the way girl is getting these things done. So it's all programming, and we were meant to look at that in this year. And honestly, you know, everything is a trend, because there's always trends with everything, with music, with food, with image, everything. So, you know, in the 90s, we had the slim model bodies. You know, everybody wanted to, you know, if you did not have like, if you weren't a size 0, basically you were considered fat, and that wasn't really attractive back then. Then we had the video vixen girl era. We have the BBL era right now. It's just always trends. It's always cycles. The next cycle that we're going to have, and we're starting to see it now, is like being fit. Girls who are going to the gym, they're actually inspiring, you know, people, and they don't even know it. So we're going to see in the next couple of years more people want to get into the gym, both men and women, just to, like, you know, get their body right. But with the women, they want to be flexible as well. So you're going to see a lot of people wanting to get up with the flexibility girls and the, you know, trainers and stuff like that. And, you know, ass is always going to be something that's a thing, but it's not going to be like the big BBL, like the big asses. It's going to be like a more natural kind of look. That's, you know, that's the direction society is moving towards. It's interesting, but yeah, it was something that, you know, we were meant to, you know, consider and think about. Another thing that was interesting this year is how much of an emphasis there was on relationships. Now, this is relationships of all kinds, you know, platonic, business partnerships, relationships within your family dynamics, but especially so when it comes to romantic dynamics. Oh my God, like relationships were very interesting in 2023. And the reason for that is because we had a switch in the North and South node. So for those of you who don't know what that is, the North node basically represents what you're meant to go towards in this lifetime. Your North node is like your highest timeline. It's your purpose. It's something that your soul wants to master, but not necessarily familiar with what that is or how to even get there. So it's basically like the path that you're working towards. Whereas your South node is the opposite to that. So your South node represents things that you already mastered, things that you already know to do, things that you are familiar with. Your South node can speak of your comfort zone because you already know how to tread in these waters. Your South node is things that that you know from the past or from past lives. So you're meant to move away from that if you're trying to grow and evolve. So we all have our own personal North and South node places that you can find in your natal chart. But as a collective, the North and South node, how it influences us collectively depends on the sign that it's in. So this year, this year in July, the North node entered the sign of Aries, making the South node placement Libra. So this is dynamics when it comes to independence versus collaboration. So North node in Aries wants us to be more self-sufficient. North node in Aries is calling for us collectively to understand who we are outside of a relationship, to understand where we begin. Because, you know, sometimes when you get into dynamics with people, when you get into relationships, you get so immersed with that person that it's hard to figure out where you end and where they begin and who's who. Like, it's like your identities, like, who are we, you know, outside of being in this situation, you know? So that's kind of what North Node, South Node energy in Aries and Libra was bringing forth this year collectively. And this is why we've seen so many breakups and divorce happen this year, because more than likely, you know, these were situations people got themselves in where they haven't evolved yet. So they were still existing in their lowest expression. And the thing is this, like, sometimes we will relate to a person's trauma. We will relate to something, you know, a common experience that we both had. We will relate to like something in our shadow will relate to another person. So we're cultivating these trauma bonds or these attachments just out of like familiar, or, you know, even we're in situations where you ever seen where two people bonded over like disliking the same thing or the same person. You know, when you have situations like that, eventually you're going to outgrow those situations because you're meant to evolve, right? So that's why it's important for us to get to a certain level of healing in our journey, self-awareness in our journeys, because once we are at a certain level of awareness and self-growth, we can build healthier connections. We can build more aligned connections. We can build things that are more solid and stable and that can stand the test of time. Now, when we have a situation where one person is growing while the other person kind of stays the same, or just two people are growing in different directions, that kind of can mess up with the compatibility of two partners. So it's like, we have to stop. We have to like take an assessment, like maybe we need a break or something, where we need to figure out like where we are heading, where we are right now. Are we truly still compatible with each other? Can we still relate to each other? Are our values still in alignment with each other? Are our goals and our missions and our aspirations still, you know, in alignment with each other? So a lot of people were needing to ask these type of questions and really think deep and understand if this is something that we can reconcile, or if we're kind of meant to like really part ways indefinitely. But with endings, it doesn't have to always be so dramatic, but people, because we're in our ego, we feel like we need to possess others, we feel like they're ours forever, we have a hard time when it comes to endings. And this is like, you know, a theme that was you know, coming forth with this energy of the nodes. You know, committed couples were needing to be more autonomous and have the space to really get in touch with who they are. There was a lot of fights and disagreements behind closed doors, like this Venus versus Mars type of energy. You know, there could have been a lot of power struggles behind closed doors with certain dynamics, or just like who's about to be the last one standing. You know, we've seen a lot of people break up, like Tia Mowry and Corey Hardrick. We've seen Tiana Taylor and Iman. We've seen who else? Keke Palmer, her baby dad was in the media. Cardi B and Offset. There was a lot of separation, a lot of endings. And even amongst, like, you know, again, even outside of celebrities, like I've seen a lot of people back away from situations that they were in for a minute. You know, I've seen people, well, I've heard of people contemplating divorce this year. It's just been a lot of tension within close relationships. It was meant to ditch things that were unproductive. So unproductive relationship habits, such as people pleasing, such as being too self-sacrificing, such as stonewalling and ghosting when things aren't, like, you know, going the way you want, such as trauma bonding. Like, what were your habits? We're meant to look at our habits this year and see if that, you know, is something that is going to be able to stand the test of time, or if it's like, yeah, nah, this is not working anymore. We were meant to learn the art of negotiating instead of defaulting to just compromising alone, being the one to always do the sacrifice and to always put the effort in, to always make the first step, you know. Libra is a sign that is in relation to equity, you know, being fair, being equal. So are these situations equal? Is there equal give and take? Is there a good level of reciprocity in these connections? You know, That's, all things we were meant to look at this year. So we needed to also stop letting other people's dreams, stop letting other people's opinions and ideas like kind of damper our dreams a little bit. So if you were in situations, or for people who were in situations where they had their aspirations, they have what they wanted to do, but their partners weren't necessarily watering those things. Their partners weren't being supportive. Their partners weren't, just giving them like whatever it is they need to nurture that and water those ideas, then we need to look at these things, So this was really a time to go through some type of life review when it comes to relationships, engagements, marriage, whatever have you, whatever your relationship status is, it was meant for you to look at what's going on. And even if you were single, what is it that you want to experience moving forward when it comes to a connection? What type of partner are you looking to manifest? Have you worked through baggage that you were still holding on to when it comes to your partners? Did you work through things karmically and things of that nature? So this energy is actually going to carry out until 2025. I believe it's sometime in January of 2025 when the nodes are going to shift again. So it's going to move out of the signs of Aries and Libra, but I can't remember the exact date. I just know 2025 for sure, this energy is going to carry out. So next year in 2024, we will see more divorces. We will see more breakups, but we'll also see some marriages happen as well. And people who realize that, we might be able to make this thing work, we're going to see those people reconcile. So if you personally went through a breakup or some sort of, some type of break was needed this year, if you've done a lot of reflecting, your partner's done a lot of reflecting, and there's things you realize needs to be changed, but it's worth giving it another shot. This is something that can actually, be worked through, then you guys potentially will be reconciling next year. But yeah, it's just very interesting. Also in the year 2024, that year carries the vibration of the number 8. So 8 is one that speaks of infinity. It's one, what goes around comes around. So next year is going to be a very karmic year as well. I feel like people will be getting their karma next year for sure. Well, whether that's good karma or bad karma, that just depends on how you were navigating throughout the years. If you were putting a lot of good into the world, you're going to see it in abundance. If you were putting a lot of negativity in the world, same thing, So it's going to be a year of judgment, judging past actions, but being rewarded for those actions. So the number 7 was more so about going inwards. Now we're going back outwards, and now things are going to be more so about tangibles, because the number 8 also symbolizes wealth, success, prosperity, fortune, things that are tangible. So there's going to be a lot going on when it comes to money and prosperity next year. Again, if you have some type of karma that is coming to get balanced out next year, it can hit you in your finances. So that can look like anything. It can look like losing out on opportunities. It could look like losing endorsements. For the celebrities that are into scandals, you will see that, playing forth for them next year. It can look like, or it can look like the opposite, like you gain, you build your following, and the following translates into paying customers. Or it can look like, just random opportunities, like God, the universe is blessing you in unexpected ways, This is definitely a year where you want to think about generational wealth and legacy. So whether you're doing this for yourself, or you're discussing it amongst your family or your partner, you do want to think about things like estate planning and setting up trusts. You want to think about life insurance if you don't already have life insurance. This is a year where we think about appointing power of attorneys for certain things. This is a year where we get a grip of our finances and who controls certain things. If you are going through the divorce next year, it can get a little bit tricky when it comes to dissolving certain certain assets, and equity ownership and things of that nature can get a little bit sticky there. In the year number 8, this is also where we come up with payment plans and options for paying off debts or consolidating, whether it's credit or a loan or whatever have you. But this is also a year too this is a good year for business as well. So depending on where you are in your journey, if you are a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, you can take the next step or the next 2 steps to elevate from where you were last year if you're putting in the work. So we're going to see some more Black business owners who tread into the millionaire tax bracket, which is very cool and inspiring as well. This is a year where you can grow your following, and then those followers can translate into paying customers. So it's all about applying a strategy. But I think that's something that's cool energetically. There is going to be a point coming towards like the spring equinox where it's a very auspicious time to manifest certain things when it comes to tangibles. So the springtime is going to be jumping. There's a lot happening astrologically, and I personally feel like the new year begins in the spring. Though the calendar new year is in January 1st, I personally go with in accordance to nature. Things die and end in the fall, winter months, and things bloom and come to life and start fresh in the spring. So I personally believe that the new year energetically starts in the spring, and that's honestly a good year for you to like launch or to set intentions for your business. We have a new moon on April 8th in the sign of Aries, and new moons represent new beginnings. It represents intentions and manifestations. In the sign of Aries, which has to do with being an entrepreneur, being a boss, being a risk taker, being a leader, I think that's a good time to set intentions for your business or your projects or whatever have you. We're going to have Jupiter conjunct Uranus. Jupiter is a planet that represents spirituality, blessings, prosperity, abundance. That's happening on April 20th. So it's also, good energy to manifest in, to work in. We have a new moon in Taurus in May, on May 7th. And Taurus is literally one about tangibles, about resources, about finances, about our value and what we earn. So, the springtime, and then I think sometime in May as well, Jupiter, another thing's happening with Jupiter in May. I can't remember. But just, springtime is jumping. So take advantage of the energy and really bring forth whatever it is that you want to bring forth. I feel like there's enough for everybody to eat. So just get what you want next year. We might see some new things, some new laws. Matter of fact, I have to do my research too, because I came across this a couple of weeks ago, where basically there's like some new law where you have to register your LLC with the Department of Treasury, I think. And if you don't do that, then you get some type of $10,000 fine. There's going to be new laws when it comes to business and making money, because a lot of people, with this hue, like I said, tapping into that millionaire tax bracket. So now it looks a little bit suspicious. So now we got to make sure we have all these rules and regulations in place, because it's looking a little bit too easy for certain people to get on. I don't know. It sounds kind of crazy. It's kind of weird to me, but whatever. There's going to be some new laws, I think, too, with traveling. I believe sometime like the beginning of next year, there's going to be certain countries are following up with these visas. So if you are able to have like your parent or whoever have you to sign off for you to get dual citizenship, honestly, I highly suggest it, because in the years to come, it's going to be such a hassle trying to travel internationally with an American passport, with all these laws and regulations. And America is a very embarrassing country, so I kind of get it, but at the same time, it does suck for a lot of people. Peter paid for Paul, insert that quote here. But yeah, so I definitely suggest that. But I'm gonna leave it at here. I think I kind of went over the 20-minute mark that I was aiming for, but I'm wishing everybody all the success and prosperity and happiness and growth and elevation in 2024. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch y'all in another video. Please leave behind in 2023 the unprofessionalism when it comes to the people having small businesses. Like these hair girls and the makeup artists and the things, all these little cute things that people picked up during the pandemic. y'all need to learn customer service skills. Please take that, like, let that be something that you focus on in 2024, because that's another thing too. A lot of y'all are going to be losing more business next year because you don't know how to run businesses. You don't have interpersonal skills. Like, y'all have just the talent, y'all know how to do something, but y'all don't have the fundamentals when it comes to running a business. You don't have the professionalism. You don't have the empathy, the understanding. Like, I'm so sick of seeing and hearing all these horror stories online. Like, the girls on TikTok, y'all be going through it with these like hair girls and these eyelash girls, and we're not doing that next year. If you want to really get you some, if you want to maintain longevity when it comes to entrepreneurship, you really have to like take that seriously and into consideration. I really feel like people need to take some type of business etiquette class, customer service skills, whatever, like do all of that next year, okay? Because I want to see people do better in their businesses as well, because a lot of people have been complaining about having to go back to like 9 to 5 after that pandemic hype has worn off. And it's because y'all don't have the personalities to sustain a business. Like, it's not just, I have a skill, give me money. Like, it doesn't work like that. You have to build a rapport. You have to work on relationship and being interpersonal with people that you are, doing business with. It's a give and take. It's an equal exchange in energy. And a lot of y'all are just draining as hell to, patronize. And it's annoying because, the small amount of people that have these issues make it bad for everybody. Like, and I see it a lot where people don't want to support Black business. They say that, that's why I don't support Black business now. And it's like, that it's sad to hear, but it's understandable too. Rightfully so. I can understand. Because a lot of y'all just don't have the professionalism. Y'all just want internet for, quick, you want to make the money fast money, instant gratification. And it just doesn't work like that if you're trying to be in it for real and have like your name not be tarnished, your reputation not be tarnished, and you have some type of longevity and you're able to stand in the game for a long period of time. So let's work on that in 2024, please. I beg of you. But yeah, I don't